Stop texting him back. I don't know if this is for everybody, but for me and like the people around me, is this the year of losing friends? Over the past, I would say 6 months, I have lost so many friends. It's for like a multitude of different reasons. It's not just one like, oh, a group fell out and like, no. And honestly, I feel like for me personally, that's honestly the best thing that's ever happened to me. Like the way my life has literally done a 180 since the last 6 months. I've seen a lot of friendships end for very different reasons. And a lot of the times I'm seeing people cut off friends for their betterment and not so much, oh, it's a falling out, it was an issue, things were said, feelings were hurt, friendship ended. Like, no, I see it as more of like you kind of open your eyes, came to a realization, stepped back, took a look at your friendship and was like, I deserve more. And you chose more. And it's not an easy decision to make. And not a lot of people can do it. And I don't judge anyone who can't. Definitely take your time, assess. Don't end a friendship because other people tell you to. It's never bad to take advice and like kind of keep it in the back of your mind, or take that advice and apply it to the situation and see if it'll work or help. If you want to stick to a friendship, if you want to clarify it as like a rough bump and you can, get over it and it will be smooth sailing, then I would definitely agree to that. But if you genuinely feel like I'm not getting enough out of this friendship and they are, and it's starting to feel one-sided and you just want more for yourself, then I definitely would say to choose you. A key thing that I learned this past year, set boundaries in friendships and relationships and with family members, with coworkers, with anyone. Set boundaries. I've definitely heard the term set boundaries, but I never really applied it to my life, and I never really paid attention to what people mean when they say set boundaries until I took a step back from a friendship, looked at everything that was going on, and I was like, I'm not comfortable with how this friendship is operating. I'm not comfortable with how I'm responding and how I'm acting. I had to essentially force myself to start setting boundaries, because when you have never set boundaries in a relationship, no matter who it's with, it's very hard to start setting boundaries, because a lot of people essentially take setting boundaries as like, they take it offensive and they kind of get like a little defensive, but you kind of have to just like stand your ground. Like you have to be firm in your decision, and you have to be like, me setting this boundary is going to not only benefit me, but benefit our friendship because of these actions that are negatively affecting me and how I view our friendship. And if someone can't value you setting boundaries for anything, they don't deserve to be in your life, because why would they not want you to be comfortable in the relationship? And setting boundaries could be a multitude of things. I wrote a couple of them down because I knew I wasn't going to remember them off the top of my head. How someone talks to you. I've seen plenty of friendships, relationships, family members of people, and the way they talk, like sometimes it'd be a little disrespectful, and it's like, one, that they shouldn't be talking to you like that, especially when it's unprovoked, random. And so being able to confide in someone and tell them like, the way you're talking to me, it's hurting me, it's negatively affecting me, it's making me think bad about myself, it's making me feel down, it's making me feel negative. You should be able to express that with anyone in your life. And if you can't, the door is right there. Your personal space, for example, your bedroom. Me personally, very little people are in my room. I have to really be comfortable with you for you to be in my space. I do not like people in my room. And you should be allowed to be like, I'm not comfortable with so-and-so being in my room, in my house, in my car, in any of your personal space. Like I don't comfortable being around them. Like you should be able to discuss that and it be respected and accepted, and you should never be forced to be around or be in a space that you are not comfortable in. For anybody, you should be able to tell a friend or a family member or a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you should be able to tell anybody in your life, you know, maybe not today, I kind of want to be alone today, I don't really want company, I don't really want to be out, I really just want to be by myself. You should be able to tell someone that, and it should be respected. Because me, I love a good locked door, AC on, Elefanto. I love being in my bed by myself in my quiet, cool room, reading a book, watching a movie, and just enjoying my alone time. In order for me to function, I have to be able to have alone time. I cannot do that under people. And I've kind of had troubles with that in previous relationships with people, and it's a boundary, but it's also a hindrance for me because I'm too comfortable being by myself. I feel like if you are kind of like me and you're a little too comfortable being in your space by yourself, and you want to learn to kind of slowly transition someone into your life and into your space, like do it slowly. And you should never feel pressured to rush the process or to have someone in your space and you're not comfortable with them yet. You do it on your time, and if they can't respect it, the door. Having time for yourself. Should I put that as my number one? Being by yourself is it just feels so good. Like you can truly be you and not have to deal with opinions and judgment and negativity. I feel like if you are a person who cannot thrive by yourself, I'm gonna leave it up to y'all in the comments, and I want to see like some of your replies. If you were a person who struggled with being by themselves and thriving by themselves, what advice would you give them to help them kind of transition into that? Saying no. Start saying no. Say no. No. Want to go eat? No. Want to go out? No. Want to buy me this? No. Want to go there? No. If you do not want to do something, you should not feel pressured to do something. I want to say this again. If you do not want to do something, do not do it because of a fear of being judged or secluded or multiple reasons. You should be able to say no. And this saying no can be applied to so many different things. It's more of kind of being a little more selfish with yourself. I was a person who, it was very hard for me to say no, and I was doing things and going places and listening to things that I did not want to hear. I did not want to do. I did not want to see. I didn't want to go. It literally started to make me feel miserable just trying to appease everybody else. And I literally had to kind of sit down with myself and be like, this isn't hurting anybody but you. Any advice that I give you in this talk, you do not have to apply cold turkey. You can just slowly just start applying it to your life. You know, this just past, I think 2 weeks, they're like, oh, you want to go to this party with us? Oh, we're gonna go to this party. And I was like, I don't want to go to a party. I don't want to go. And yeah, they asked again, like, oh, you sure you don't want to go to this party? And I was like, no, I don't want to go. And that was the end of it. And they went out, they had fun. I stayed in, I had fun. Everybody was happy. I know it's a lot harder to say when you're kind of a natural people pleaser or you've been a people pleaser for so long, but just slowly start implementing that into your life. And I promise you, you will start seeing yourself saying no way easier. Start with the little things. Just start saying no to little things, and it'll just get easier and easier. And then there will be times where it gets hard and you're like, oh, I should have said, like, you'll say yes to something and you'll really kind of like process afterwards. You're like, oh, I really don't want to do it. Oh, I really don't want to go. You are still allowed to change. You are allowed to change your mind, and I'm gonna talk about that. You are allowed to change your mind. If you agree, oh, I'm gonna go with you to the store, or I'm gonna go with you to go get food, and then you think about it and you're like, I really don't want to go out right now, I really don't want to put anything on, I really don't want to get up, you can be able to do that. Changing your mind is also similar to saying no. It could be used for multiple different contexts. You should be able to change your mind at any point in any situation and be like, no, I don't want to do this no more. No, I don't want to go here anymore. No, I don't want to be around them anymore. And it's natural. You're gonna kind of get questioned on it, like, oh, why don't you? And you can explain whatever reasoning, and whatever reason that you give, that should be the end of it. You should be able to change your mind and it not be an argument or an issue. Being your own person. I wrote down being your own person because a lot of the times in friendships and relationships, you're around each other so much that I starts to become we, and you kind of lose, in a sense, you start to kind of lose like that like self-identity. For me, I kind of started seeing like I was losing certain aspects of myself whenever I was with the person. It was just like I wouldn't feel, or I wouldn't act, and I wouldn't have my own actions, I wouldn't have my own thoughts, I wouldn't have my own feelings, I wouldn't have my own tastes, and it was just kind of influenced by whoever I was around. I would say be able to separate, like be in the presence with them, but also be able to separate yourself from them and be able to differentiate, okay, these are their thoughts, these are their actions, these are their likes, these are their tastes, and also be able to be like, okay, my thoughts are different, my tastes are different, my actions are different, my likes are different, and be able to bond over that. Like, you don't have to alter yourself to be in an environment with who you want to be with. You should be able to be your own person and be accepted. You should never have to change yourself. Being your own person applies to everything that I've talked about in this video. Losing friends, setting boundaries, addressing how someone talks to you, being able to thrive in your own personal space, having time for yourself, being able to say no, being able to change your mind. Like, that all goes into being your own person. The last one that I put down was venting. This one is a big one for me, because venting can get very complicated. A lot of people see like venting as like, oh, okay, they're asking for advice, they're needing this helping hand, and sometimes that's not the case. I saw an interesting thread, and it was like, sometimes when people vent, they don't want advice, they don't want a helping hand, they don't want answers, they just want someone to listen. I've kind of been on both sides, where like I want advice, I want help, and another time I just want somebody to listen. I just want to be heard. Sometimes people forget the wanting to be heard, and they always just want to give opinions, and that can be very negative to the person that's venting, because it's not necessarily like what you need, it's not what you want to hear. You're not looking for like being told what to do. I've seen that someone was like, a great way to balance that is, you know, kind of ask that in the beginning. They're like, okay, I see you're about to vent to me. Do you want help? Do you want advice? Or do you just want to be heard? Do you just want to get it out? So it's not, you're not going crazy in your head with like this just pressure on you. And I feel like that's a great thing to do and to start applying to your life, is like, start asking, start differentiating, so you're not feeling like, oh, all I can do is listen, I'm not really helping them, or it's, oh, I'm giving them advice and it's not helping, they're not listening, and it's just, it can start to kind of create like a negativity with each other, because the person that's always giving you advice starts to feel frustrated, and they're like, why are you not listening to me? And then the person that's venting is like, I didn't want your help, I just wanted to listen. So it's kind of great to set that boundary and address what you want and what you need, so there's never a misconstruction with the process. And I feel like setting boundaries flows into self-love and self-care and self-worth, because boundaries create safety and therefore you can strengthen your sense of self. When you are able to set those boundaries, you are also being able to recognize what you need and being able to ask for it. Boundaries are a healthy form of self-care. Some examples are putting your phone on Do Not Disturb. A lot of us probably got our phones on D&D right now. Putting your phone on Do Not Disturb, honestly, it's really needed at some points, because the world it just gets to be too much, and putting your phone on D&D, it very much helps, because it really blocks out like all that negativity that you are trying to get rid of. Another example would be to leave a space when you feel disrespected. That's valuing your self-worth and your self-respect. And that's a form of self-care. Like, you are putting your beliefs and your dignity before someone's frustrations and angers and expectations and entitlements. To get a little more into the self-love, self-care, self-worth aspect, exercising. I know a lot of times when you look up self-care, you see self-care videos, it's, you know, a workout routine. They say exercising. Exercising does not mean running, weightlifting, doing all these hardcore just like workouts. Walking on a treadmill can do you so much better than doing intense HIIT workouts. You're not obligated to work out to feel like you're taking care of yourself. You can walk on a treadmill, you can go on walks, you can jump rope, you can do anything. You can diet. Having a healthy diet can also kind of substitute that exercise. And having a healthy diet, it's not only eating salads or cutting out carbs. Start easy. Start by implementing things and not taking out things. Add before you subtract. Oh, look at me. Add something into the way you eat before you start trying to take out. Just this past winter break, me and my sister, we decided we are going to be dairy free. Anytime after I eat dairy, I feel really heavy and I feel really groggy and really sluggish. And because I've kind of cut out that dairy, I feel more energized. I can feel like I can focus more. I feel like I stay awake throughout the day better. Dieting is what you make of it. It's not what you think it is. It's not cutting out. It's not starving yourself. It's not eating salads every day. It's not eating as little as possible to slim down. Say you switch out your whole milk for almond or oat milk. Boom, you've already changed a good amount of your diet. Reading. I know some of y'all are not readers. I have a couple of friends, they are not readers. They wish they were readers, but they're not readers. And you know, I have my friends. We all sit around, we talk about books, and we talk about what, literally we just had a book discussion like a couple of days ago, and we sat around and we talked about all these different books that we read growing up, what we read now, what we kind of grew out of, what we're kind of growing into, what we like, what we don't like in books. And you know, for my readers, like, you know, there's an obvious enjoyment in reading. It's, you know, you're kind of going into a different world and experiencing something else, and it's literally kind of an out-of-body experience, and it's a little bittersweet when you finish a book and you leave that world and you're kind of back into reality. So for my people who kind of don't understand why people like reading so much, it's literally an escape from whatever you're kind of going through at that time. Like, reading, it's literally therapeutic for some people, especially me. If you ever want to get into reading, find what works for you. I would say kind of try basing your books off of your favorite movies. If you like sci-fi, look for sci-fi books. If you like romance, look for romance books. If you like horror movies, look for horror books. If you love like true crime and mystery, look for true crime and mystery books. I would show y'all an example of one of the books I have. I love a good true crime mystery, and I just got a book. I don't necessarily remember the title, but my friend is reading it right now. She loves the book. She loves the book. Just find what works for you in books and then try to kind of start reading. And you know, reading is not for everyone. If you generally just don't like reading, that's okay. That's okay. You can watching movies works. Podcasts work. You know, if you can't really get into the function of reading, audiobooks work. Praying. For my religious people, praying is a form of self-love and self-care and self-worth. I feel like I don't talk to God enough, and I feel like that's definitely something that I can work on this year. That's definitely something I'm going to explore this year, is, you know, praying more and talking to God. I'm very respectful of everyone's religions, so whatever your beliefs and who you believe in, what you practice and what you follow, definitely implement that more into your life. Don't let people judge you for what you believe in and what you practice, and be proud of who you are and what you represent, and be yourself, be your true authentic self. I wrote this last one down. This is my last piece of advice for anyone that's still this far into the video. Starting from when you watch this video, say you watch this video on like the 13th of February, from the 13th of February to the 13th of March, give yourself a month. Do something that you enjoy every day, no matter if it's eating something that you like, reading, watching a movie that you enjoy, watching a comfort show, a comfort movie, wearing your favorite color, journaling. Do something that you enjoy every day. And that is all that we have for today. I hope everyone liked my video. I think I'm gonna start a new segment every month. I've kind of discussed this with my friends. I'm gonna start a new, I guess you would say, segments where I do a monthly mental health check-in, and it kind of just gives you guys that are watching a chance to get out how you're feeling and know that either I'm seeing it, I'm listening, or someone else in the comments could be listening, and, you know, just being able to either get advice, you know, or have somebody to listen. I feel like that would really help. I just want to do something beneficial to people who are at least taking the time out of their days to watch my videos. I want to be able to do something for you guys as well. Since you're giving me your time, I would like to give you my time for one day out of every month. So I'm gonna start doing that in the month of February. I hope you liked this video. I hope this video helped you in any way that it needed to. I hope it gave you some advice you haven't heard, or some advice you needed to hear, or some advice you're kind of scared to do, and I hope it helps you, you know, kind of start to apply it in your life. Me and Elefanto are happy that you guys watch our channel. Subscribe, and I hope you guys have a very marvelous day, night. I need to get better at these outros. Did he just move? Boy. Bye, y'all. Bye.